Thank you very much indeed for joining us today. My name is John Stenhouse. I'm the Business Support Manager at the University of Essex, University Enterprise Zone. This is part of a series of webinars that we run on investment readiness. And today is a live pitching event where we actually have real life businesses who are seeking funding and are on our Angels at Essex equity investment platform. Just a few formalities before we start this presentation. It is a live presentation and the audience can participate by using the Q&A in the box either at the side or the bottom of the screen, depending on which device you're using. Please only use the Q&A. The chat is for the conversation amongst the panelists. The whole webinar is being recorded and that information will be then made available on YouTube much later. The presentation is expected to last roughly 1 hour, possibly a little bit shorter, depending on the number of questions that the panelists ask of the opportunities that are being presented. We have today 5 panelists who are with us today. We have Hannah Smith from Anglia Capital Group, Jennifer Estherby from Barclays Eagle Labs. We have Harveen Gill from Eve Angel Investors, Greg Tufnell from Prime Advantage Capital Partners, and Liz Guyar-Brown from the University of Essex. The panel here today represent funds, investors, private equity investors, fund managers, and of course Barclays Eagle Labs, who are one of our co-sponsors today. And we welcome Barclays to this event. Barclays Eagle Labs represent Barclays Bank, who actually provide help and support to innovative businesses through their Eagle Labs, which are based around the region. So we have today 3 businesses who are on our Angels at Essex equity investment platform. Our platform has actually raised over £7 million in the last year for businesses seeking investment. And this investment has been invested into innovative businesses. And the emphasis here is on innovation. These are new ideas, new to market. And so we have these 3 businesses today. We have these opportunities, our educational training group, and this is a resident of our Knowledge Gateway. This is a part of the university set aside for businesses, and they've been with us for some time. They are an educational tech business. Our second presentation is Limbotech. And Limbotech is a former Essex alumni from our Loughton campus and is a creative digital business. And finally, our third presentation is Savvy, which is Avet Technology, which is actually a product in the mobile phone technology area. And this has been basically developed with help and assistance from the University of Essex. But I'll let these contestants describe their businesses in much more detail as part of the presentation. So that's the order of the opportunities which are being presented today. The panel are here to actually assess and to review those opportunities on behalf of the University of Essex. And the University of Essex does actually have funds that it can invest through our University Enterprise Zone program. And we may very well be investing in some of these businesses ourselves. But more of that later. So I'm now going to hand over to Josh Clark, who's going to have a quick word with you.
Thanks, John. Good morning, everyone. So today, after each of the businesses who have presented, we will be running quick polls just to get some audience feedback on each of the businesses and each of the presentations. And we'll be going through that at the end of the session. That's all from me. So after each of the presentations, I'll come back with a quick poll. But for now, I'll hand back over to John.
Thank you very much, Josh. So I would now like David Maythorpe to actually present. So David, are you available?
I'm here. Yeah, thank you, John. I will share my screen.
I'd like you to share your screen. Thank you. Okay, we can see your screen and
Okay.
you are ready to go. David, you have 7 minutes starting now.
Lovely. Thank you, John. So yeah, good morning. So my name's David Matham. I'm CEO and founder of Education Training Group. Education Training Group is made up of TT Education, a school improvement and training company, and TT Digital, an innovative young digital innovation company providing software solutions for schools. As an Education Training Group, we are an exciting, innovative young company. We're profitable. We've made money every single year. We're an established business, and we're underpinned by a moral purpose of empowering teachers and improving outcomes for children. We're looking for investment today to fast track our development, to build on these solid foundations we've already made, and also to optimize and connect our award-winning digital products and services to offer a really innovative, exciting 360-degree solution for schools. In terms of what makes us different, we have a number of key differentiators. I think we're really proud of the fact that since 2013, when I founded the company, we've already trained over 80,000 teachers across the UK and overseas, and worked with over 2.5 million children. We're proud of the fact we've worked in partnership with the University of Essex and Innovate UK through a knowledge transfer partnership to build AI and machine learning into our digital products and services. We're proud of the fact that we have a range of products and services that really do offer a corporate standard to schools and teachers who access our products and services, and really has established us as a market leader in the school improvement, training and digital innovation area. We're also proud of the fact we've been recognised. We've won School Improvement Provider of the Year for the last 3 years at the industry awards, and just 2 years ago we were named Best School Improvement Provider UK at the Education and Training Awards. In terms of the problem, what problem we're aiming to solve? Well, teacher retention is a massive issue. You could actually argue it's scandalous. On average, 1 in 3 approximately teachers who qualify and go into the profession leave it within 5 years. They do an absolutely phenomenal job in schools, but we lose lots of them. As a company, we offer a number of awesome solutions to schools, to teachers, to empower them. And we want to bring those solutions together in the MyTT app, a 360-degree support solution for teachers to support them with their development, their training, and also to move schools forward and ultimately improve outcomes for children. So what does this look like? Let me give you an example. Basically, what this looks like, our kind of world-leading solution, is combining these 3 products and services and leveraging the data and intelligence to offer an unprecedented solution to schools in the education sector. School CPD Tracker, you can see on the left of your screen, is already an established product. It's a complete training, sort of performance management appraisal, training, tracking system for schools. Teachers can track their training, they can track their progress, schools can track how teachers are doing. It's already being used. We've sold it into Saudi Arabia, we've sold it into the UAE, we've got a number of schools in Europe and the UK using it. It's already got AI and machine learning being built into it, and it's a recurring revenue membership subscription product. Online CPD library has been vastly accelerated due to COVID. We now have over 200 courses on demand available for teachers to access anywhere, anytime. Again, this is a subscription membership product generating recurring revenue. Zingit is another software product, subscription recurring revenue. This is a parental engagement portal. The Department for Education, part of their strategy is on how do we engage parents, recognizing the value parents have on children's education. This platform, again, a subscription product, supports parents in supporting their children's learning at home. By combining the 3 platforms together through the MyTT app using AI and machine learning, we can use that data to actually really support not only teachers' own professional journeys, but actually school improvement and wider community engagement as well. In terms of the investment we're looking for £1 million of investment for 5% of Education Training Group, the holding company of TT Education and TT Digital. I should point out this is the first round of investment we've gone for. We've grown the business since 2013 ourselves organically. We've made a profit every single year, but we feel the timing is absolutely right now to really accelerate and build from where we've got. I'd also just point out here, some of you may be noting the year and wondering about EIS. We believe we qualify for EIS as a knowledge intensive company due to the large amounts of R&D that we've put into the businesses over the last few years and continue to do so. In terms of what the investment will be used for, we'll be looking to expand our digital team, our data scientists, and obviously scale our digital infrastructure, improve and grow our sales and marketing team, and basically do what we know already works and is proven, and scale and take that into some really exciting international markets. Again, we have a footprint in the Middle East. That's one of our target markets, but other international markets such as India as well. The market opportunity, the education market speaks for itself. It's a sustainable market. It's a growing market. The numbers on your slide, again, speak for themselves. It's a highly fragmented market. There's numerous opportunities. And the only other point I'd add is that teachers for the last 12 to 18 months, have had to massively adopt digital technology in order to deliver learning. So they are ready. They're ready to adopt what we've got. They were before, but the levels of adoption are going to be far, far higher now, which again means the timing's absolutely right to really accelerate our growth over the next couple of years. In terms of the competition, we have no direct competition. There's various small and medium competitors, local authorities and so on, but we're a marketplace disruptor, and there is no one who has got the kind of foundations, the infrastructure with the school improvement market lead in the digital technology with what we've got, who can do what we're doing at the moment. In terms of the business model then, broadly speaking, we're looking at continuing 3 areas. One is obviously, as I've said, scaling our existing proven revenue generating products and services through AI-enabled edtech. Secondly, as a business, we're committed to focusing on subscription-based revenue. So CPD trackers, Zingit, the club membership, the library, they all stand alone as revenue-generating products. We want to pull them together and leverage that data, but real focus on subscription revenue. And our place within the market, having worked with well over 5,000 schools now, that's about 25% of the UK market. We're ideally placed to offer schools, school groups, international school groups, academy trusts, an outsourced solution to meet all of their school improvement, development and training needs. In terms of revenue projections, you can see them on the graph there. You can see how we've grown organically. We've reinvested each year. We've made a profit every year. As I said, we expect you as investors would receive a 3 to 4 times return on your investment within 5 years. And again, more detailed financial information is available on the platform. I should say we have a rigorous business plan, marketing and sales strategy. We have 13 head office staff employed. We have about 40 consultants, some of whom are freelance, some who are subcontracted, who work and act as a sales force around the UK visiting schools. We have a database of over 50,000 contacts. And obviously we use a number of routes to market, including SEO, social media, email marketing, and so on. Generally, we're very sticky. Once customers have experienced the quality of what we offer in any of our products, they come back. So we're very good at keeping our customers. Yep. Sorry, John, I can't hear you.
David, I'm going to pause you there because your time is now up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is your last slide, isn't it?
It's my last slide. So I pretty much got there in the 7 minutes.
Okay. Thank you very much, David. I do have a question for you. Straight off the bat, you can stop sharing your screen now. The EIS, have you actually applied for that?
No, we're not. We've engaged Philip Hare Tax Associates, who's currently reviewing our business, but we've applied for sort of R&D tax credits. We've been successful for the last few years. And although we haven't got the 100% guarantee yet, our view is, and we hope Philip will confirm this in the coming couple of weeks, that we should be EIS, have that EIS status, and then of course we would apply for the advanced assurance.
Thank you. I'm going to ask the panel. Would you like to ask questions, please?
I'll go. Yeah. So you mentioned that there's no competition, but what do you see as the biggest barrier to entry for another company trying to do this?
I think maybe there's not. I wouldn't say there's no competition. Of course, there's competition out there, but what I'd say is it's a very fragmented market. So there's everything from one-man bands to much bigger companies operating in one very specific area. I think where we are unique is that we offer a school. We have the school improvement and training side, and the tracking of that alongside this sort of parental engagement and software. So you've got lots of ed tech companies who just have the software. And they have software on one little area. You could have a whole business potentially just competing with the Zingit, for example. But we've got the kind of combined offer, I would say.
And how imitable do you think it is for other companies coming in?
I mean, I think, I mean, the education sector, I mean, yeah, I think companies could come in. There are, as I say, there's competitors on each one element of what we offer. There's other companies who offer school improvement. I think with school improvement, we've been, since 2013, it's a testament to the awards. We've been the best. We haven't compromised on quality. And therefore, yes, there's other providers out there, but generally schools will come to us and pay because of the quality. The same goes for School CPD Tracker. There's other products that try and do, track CPD tracking for schools, but the reality is we've got the product there, and the quality of the features on the product, it's going to be hard for another company to catch up. And of course, with the CPD tracking, we're already working with loads of schools on CPD anyway, so our route to market is much easier. So again, we're really primed to be able to get quite a significant market share, and we've got a real plan about how we're going to do that in the next sort of 12 months.
Thanks, David.
Hi, David. It's Greg from Prime Advantage Capital Park.
Hi, Greg.
Great presentation. Thank you very much. Can you give me some more insight into who your target audience is? Is it primarily the school, or is it the teacher or group of teachers within that school? And what is it that primarily converts them to you and might therefore convert them to your app?
Yeah, absolutely. So target audience is mainly at the moment schools. So schools need, they want to be as good as they can be. They're under pressure from things like Ofsted and inspection and for exam results. So the target market's the schools. But as I said, the market's very fragmented. So you've got, kind of need to understand the market. You've got some schools that still sit under sort of local authorities. You've got some schools and academy trusts. So some of our customers are the academy trusts or the school groups. We've also got international school groups we're starting to talk to. But the way we've come at it is we target the schools. So the schools or the trusts or the groups purchase from us directly, and then the schools benefit. So the teachers in the schools then benefit from the services. Having said that, we've got plans around with CPD Tracker, for example, offering a free CPD Tracker account to every single teacher in the country, almost a light version account, which will come in. At that point, our target market will be teachers as well, because the teachers won't need to come through the schools to access. But again, the cross-selling, the opportunities of doing that are massive and significant for us. I hope that answers your question.
It does. What's the thing that converts them, the schools? What is it?
It's I think in terms of it depends on what we're selling with things like CPD Tracker. It's the product itself, it's the functions of the product. CPD Tracker, the schools will look at the product, if they like the product, which the majority do, they'll buy it, and then they stay with it because it's a very sticky product, which is brilliant. With our kind of school improvement, we work with schools over a long period of time. We have contracts with schools ongoing year after year. I believe a lot of that's people by people. As I say, that moral purpose that I talked about right at the start is really important. We have something called the Path to Success philosophy. You can see on our website in terms of the sort of pedagogy behind what we do. Schools believe in what we're saying, and that also helps convert. But of course, you can go from, the great thing is you can go from doing really high quality training with them to saying, well, Zing It might be great, or School CPD Tracker might be good, or the app now, or whatever it may be. But that's what converts them. But yeah, we do the whole range of email marketing and everything else.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you, Greg.
Hi, David. Really, really great presentation. Just a quick one. So just to clarify really on Greg's question. So your subscription reoccurring model then is schools paying for a subscription rather than the individual teachers. And then does that then create sort of licensing for each teacher to access that?
That's correct. So that's absolutely correct. So that's the model at the moment with School CPD Tracker and the School CPD Library. We also have a model with a club membership as well. Longer term, we're still exploring the model. As I say, we plan to make School CPD Tracker free, a light version for every teacher in the country, because there's great opportunities there. And there is the potential for us to explore, that would be an innovation, whether we could allow parts of CPD Tracker to be subscribed for by just the teacher themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, lovely, thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. I'm going to pause there because I think we've run out of time for questions. I'm sorry, Harveen, but we can come back. We can come back later. I'm going to ask David if you'd like to now move on and mute, and I'm going to introduce now Dave Norton from Limbo Tech. Dave, are you available?
Sorry, John. Sorry, Dave. Just before we move on to that, we just got a quick poll for the audience, just on the first presentation there. So I'll just put that up on the screen now. So everyone should be able to see this. And it's just a quick one and just one for gathering feedback. And it's, if you were an investor, would you be interested in investing in this business? It's simple, yes, no, or maybe. Again, we'll give you around about 30 seconds just to get those answers in.
And don't worry, we will not be chasing you for money at the end of this program.
Great, I can see some answers coming in. I'll just give you a few more seconds just to get that in. Excellent, thanks everyone. I'll end that there and we can have a look at those at the end. So I'll pass back to John now to introduce Dave.
Thank you very much, Josh. So Dave, would you like to join us? Dave Norton from Limbotech, alumni from the University of Essex, Loughton campus, with his creative digital product.
Thank you, John. All right, bear with me, we'll just share. There we go. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, you have 7 minutes starting now.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Dave Norton. I'm the director of Limbotech. We're a creative technology company. We entertain, educate, and inspire through the power of digital technology. I'm going to share with you a brief video just to showcase some of the work that we do. There we go. So why are we here today? Well, over the last 2 years, we've been in research and development for a game-changing motion capture system. You're going to be hearing that word quite a few times over the next few minutes, so let's briefly go over what that is. Motion capture is the process of tracking and recording the movements of an actor and then applying those movements to a CGI or computer-generated character, and it's used primarily in the film and video game industry. Traditionally, motion capture is a very expensive and complex process. It requires a warehouse-sized studio, an entire team of specialists and technicians, and currently creative industries are paying anywhere from £3,000 to £10,000 per day to hire a motion capture studio. This is excluding a huge number of companies who wish to use motion capture in their projects or productions, but are put off by the price tag. This is what the Limbotech system can do. We use a virtual reality-based tracking system that provides outstanding results without the large upfront investment of traditional motion capture studios. Our solving software operates within a game engine, so as the actors' movements are being tracked, the fully rendered results can be viewed in a video game, VR headset, or online stream with zero delay or latency, leading to some really exciting live performance applications. Our system can fit inside a suitcase. It can be transported to a site and unpacked and calibrated within an hour. We offer the entire character design and animation pipeline, meaning a company with zero knowledge or experience can make use of our services. We're offering our solution as a service, costing £500 per day, significantly cheaper than any current motion capture service on the market. And we're also offering it as an all-in-one product, providing all the hardware, software, and training to use the system in-house. We expect our motion capture system to seriously disrupt the video game and independent film industry, offering huge advantages over current offerings. And we also envision a number of other industries who previously would have been put off by the budget will begin to adopt its use in their future projects, productions, and campaigns. Through our research, we've identified a very large and diverse market size spanning across several different well-established and growth industries. We're going to share a industry case study. So back in 2016, the Royal Shakespeare Company teamed up with Intel to use motion capture technology in a production of The Tempest. As well as receiving glowing reviews for its ambition and visual fidelity, the company surveyed those who were coming to see the show, and they collated the following data that you can see on screen there. This was, without a doubt, bringing in a new, hard-to-reach young audience into the theatre and developing a lifelong love of theatre and live performance. While the launch of our motion capture service is imminent, as a creative technology company, we are developing some enhanced features and standalone products with our motion capture system at its heart. This includes a live music visualization tool aimed at music concerts, virtual and augmented reality apps aimed at the education market, and a live performance capture system with unbelievable accuracy and precision, capturing every subtle nuance of a performance. From our pricing structure and researching our market potential, we're able to forecast our revenue for the first 5 years of operation. The motion capture industry is constantly evolving and expanding. With the new applications we're developing, we foresee this to be a huge growth industry in which we aim to be a key player. So how do we get there? How do we become industry leaders in the latest generation of motion capture and pathfinders of exciting artistic innovations? After already securing an initial investment, we're looking for an additional 55,000 to reach our funding target of 100,000. Since receiving our initial investment, we've moved forward in huge leaps and bounds. Having already completed a motion capture project, we are now looking forward to a further 3 projects in the works, one of which will be a return customer. Our website and branding has had a significant facelift to better reflect the work we do, and we have 4 large-scale funding bids currently in process to support some of the new innovations we want to undertake. We're invested heavily in upskilling and networking with relevant partners, and we are very close to launching our first marketing campaign. With further investment, we intend to build a small team of specialists to lead and shape the future of the company, with an emphasis on engaging clients, networking with relevant industries, and seeking partnerships and funding opportunities. And we'll very briefly take a look at our roadmap for the following year. After a full launch of our core motion capture service in June, we'll continue to develop our innovative mocap-based products. And by the end of the first year of operation, we expect to expand to a second motion capture team to keep up with demand for the motion capture service. Finally, what makes us the best option? We have extensive experience of understanding and implementing the blend between art and technology. We have access to a vast network of engineers and artists who we've built up over the years. We're a small and agile company. We find it easy to pivot and adapt to changing market setbacks and provide a personal touch for our clients. And we have an outstanding track record of ambitious ideas, delivering excellence. We develop our own innovations and automate systems to remain competitive, efficient, and always ahead of the curve. That's all from me. I'll open up to any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Dave. If you'd like to stop sharing your screen, and I'll open the discussion amongst the panel. Would the panel like to start asking questions, please?
Hi, Dave. Harveen, Gill from Female Angel Investors. Thank you for that presentation. It looks really exciting. Was this the technology that was used, I think, on the Brit Awards recently, with Coldplay playing with the characters that they had either side of them?
I've seen their music video. I haven't seen the live performance. I'm assuming it was the same sort of thing.
Is that the same technology?
It will be, yeah. And I'd imagine they'd be using either traditional systems. So if you're Coldplay or you're the Brit Awards, you have the budget to afford that. But yeah, very, very, very similar tech.
So from an IP perspective, in terms of what you're formatting, where does this stand?
So we describe the work that we've done as sort of system integration. So the hardware already exists for virtual reality tracking. We've sort of repurposed it. We brought lots of existing things together to work in a new way. So we're not at the stage that we could say, this is our thing, no one else can use it. But for that reason, one of the things we're looking at is what can we do so that the live music visualization, that would be sort of our own spin on it, and things like that we could sort of copyright and protect or license out to other people like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, David. Greg Tufnell again. How much is built? Is the technology built and operational? From that point of view, you can start revenue generating?
Absolutely, yes. So we finished off, I'd say around Christmas. We had our first sort of test client was in February, and they were very happy and have now sort of rebooked us to do something a bit more ambitious. They've sort of seen it, tried it for themselves, and they were very happy. And I'm quite confident that it's going to deliver as well.
It works.
Mm,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Do we have any more questions for Dave?
I've probably got another one then, if that's all right, Dave. The applications are quite numerous in many respects. You could go into a lot of different verticals, sectors, whatever you might want to define or call them. How do you prioritize that? How do you decide where to go first?
I'd say we're going to start with sort of the most achievable ones, or the ones that we believe are the most, that are going to have a sort of a wide appeal, but won't take 5 years to create. And by that time, the world's changed and isn't interested anymore. Yeah, I think we'll pick the most achievable ones with the biggest sort of potential to begin with. But as I'm hoping, as we sort of grow, that we can be tackling multiple applications at the same time. That'd be ideal.
Okay, thank you very much.
So Dave, how big financially is the market? You know, you've talked about the number of companies in different sectors. So how big is this market with the tech, that's the expensive tech, for instance, the proven market?
Okay, so if we look at just the video game market in the UK, there's potentially about 15 to 20 traditional motion capture studios, probably servicing around 200 to 300 video game companies. So these are all what we call AAA, so they're big budget. They make millions per year. They can afford that approach. We're looking to serve the unserved, so the smaller independent companies. We've identified around 200 or sort of smaller companies who just couldn't afford the motion capture at the moment, that we're hoping to aim at.
So from a financial perspective, the sum that's already being spent with the expensive players, do you know how much that is currently?
As in how much revenue the bigger companies are making?
Yeah.
If we look at the one owned by Andy Serkis, that's probably the most well-known one, the Imagination, we're talking millions. Hugely profitable. Yeah. I don't know how fair it is to compare, because you are looking at £30,000 per day to hire somewhere like that. It's
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a final question of Dave? Okay, Dave, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. And thank you very much, panelists, for those questions. Very illuminating. Okay, I'd now like to run that poll. So Josh, would you like to run a poll for the audience?
Yeah, thanks, John. And so same as last time, everyone. That should now be on your screens. If you're an investor, would you be interested in investing in this business? Yes, no, or maybe. And again, we'll give you around about 30 seconds just to get your answers in there. Okay, I can see some responses coming in. Just give you a few more seconds on that one. Excellent, thanks everyone. And I'll end that there and hand back to John.
Thank you very much indeed, Josh. Okay, so thank you very much, Dave. And we'll now spotlight Jerry Thornton, Savu, Avet Technology. And Avet's worked with the University of Essex to help develop this product. And Jerry is ably assisted by Andy. And so if you'd like to share your screen. Okay, Jerry, you have 7 minutes from now. Thank you, Jerry.
Great, thank you very much. Good morning to you all, and thank you for your time this morning. My name is Jerry Thornton. I'm the founder of AVEC Technology, and I'm supported today by my business partner, Andy Stewart.
Good morning to you all.
So AVEC designs and manufactures evidential standard digital interview recorders and data management solutions. Our products protect audio only and audio and video recordings. They accurately log their content so that we can identify if there's any subsequent manipulation. And by doing this, we support the justice system in two key areas. One, we protect victims of crime by safeguarding the evidence that is used to obtain convictions. And two, we provide a framework for protecting information within traditional public sector markets, plus the professional private sectors. Our products have an international reach and an expanding market. So judicial systems need technology to record evidence to deliver justice. Currently, 52% of the global population, that's nearly 4 billion people, have no access to justice. And obviously that's a problem. This is not to say that some countries don't have a desire to combat crime, but they often do lack the framework. And AVEC products deliver that framework. They're designed to be portable and easy to use. They work just as well in a field in India as they do in an office in London. They provide a means to gather evidence to support local authorities, charities, NGOs to combat a raft of serious crimes. Additionally, deep fake recordings, which use sophisticated software to manipulate recordings, are increasingly being used, and our products prevent that too. So AVEC designs and builds evidential recording and data management solutions, and we own all our own IP. Uniquely, we constructed an evidential framework that enables us to accurately log the content of a recording in case there is a later allegation that that information has been tampered with. We then overlaid this framework into products that can be easily used and transported, and that additionally can be configured to meet international judicial standards. So our target market is large. We currently have a sales pipeline of $5 million, and we have an additional maturing pipeline in the US of $10 million. Originally, our market focus was on police internationally. However, this has evolved because as the world changes, we're seeing an increasing need for our solutions within the professional private sectors, including legal, medical, financial, and retail. Additionally, our products support the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which provide a blueprint for peace and prosperity with global targets to be met by 2030, and which 192 countries have signed up to. So the products I've spoken about were part of our phase 1 R&D hardware and software development. And this is self-funded phase. This self-funded phase is now complete. Our next phase will start post-funding and focus on data management and interrogation within an evidential framework. Elements of this are patentable, and once complete, this solution will be made available to all customers via a SaaS model. Our phase 1 products all benefit from our core evidential framework that complies with UK evidential standards, whilst maintaining flexibility to meet with local international requirements. In fact, in practice, AVEC solutions exceed UK required standards, whilst providing a wide selection of configuration options to ensure broad acceptability into our international market. We have completed a full competitor feature analysis that is highlighted in this slide and that shows AVEC's very strong performance. Details of this and the full document will be available for assessment if required. As for our team itself, well, we have a core experience based on a broad and varied commercial expertise in the UK and internationally. We've been highly focused in this sector for 6 years, and collectively we have a considerable breadth of experience in technology, design, financial management, sales, product, and business development. Our sales model focuses on regional offices that will manage and support national distribution partners who have a history of selling technology products with an ability to provide support. We already have distributors signed up in Australia, South Africa, Mexico, Chile, and the UAE. Post-funding, we will create 3 new regional AVEC companies in the USA, India, and Singapore. And early planning is underway in the USA and India. And working under guidance from the UK, these regional offices will manage in-country partners and opportunities within their remit. So we have carefully constructed a detailed 10-year cash flow analysis and business plan. This slide summarises the anticipated costs and profits over the first 4 years. In our analysis, we tried to apply realism and judgment to our assumptions, for instance, to try and take into account the impact of the pandemic. On top of that, though, we've also implemented a demand sensitivity value of 45% to ensure that we were not over-egging our assumptions. In doing so, we again looked at the entire market, extracting what of vet sales are considered achievable, and then reduced this to 45% to balance any unconscious over-optimism. Essentially, our 4-year numbers generate a revenue of $141 million with costs of $26 million, delivering a gross profit of $115 million. To understand these numbers, it's important, or it's worth appreciating, that we're building a global company that, on the basis of our experience to date, will expand exponentially. So, having briefly outlined our vision and our plans, I do hope our enthusiasm, commitment and excitement about this program comes through. We are seeking $5 million, which could be split between debt and equity, if required. Although we anticipate as a minimum, the first $2.5 million is likely to be equity investment. We are already EIS and SEIS accredited, and that's my presentation. I thank you for listening, and we'd be happy to take any questions.
Jerry, thank you very much indeed. And I'm going to open the floor to questions from the panel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Jerry. Have you raised any funds to date, or have you grown organically so far?
No, we're completely self-funded up to this point. So all of our phase 1 R&D is complete, and that's funded from our initial shareholders. It's about £500,000 investment that we put into the business so far.
Okay, great. And do you anticipate needing any more investment after this round of funding?
It's possible. We keep seeing new opportunities which expand from that traditional police market where we started, and that initially went into the professional private sector, but even now we're seeing opportunities that could come even lower down the food chain, so even into people's own houses. So obviously, as we see those opportunities and as we enter new markets, there's a potential that we could need additional funding. But to be honest with you, our figures, which we continually assess, look so good that we believe we could self-fund. We could fund from our revenues. So it's really that just initial cash injection to build the infrastructure that we need today.
Thank you.
Hi, Jerry. It's Craig here. You refer to 2 pipelines, a $5 million pipeline, and then I think it was a $10 million pipeline.
Yes.
So two questions within one, I suppose. Firstly, is there any revenue currently? And then secondly, if there isn't, to an extent, even if there is, could you expand a little bit more on how certain and how confident you are about those 2 pipelines?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very good question. So focusing on the 5 million initially. So what happened to us in the very brief version is that we developed our phase 1 products, brought those to the market with an expectation that we would go to low volume manufacturing to sell them. And we immediately bumped into a big order of 1,000 units, which took us into a $3.25 million order. Just at the beginning of that, the pandemic kicked off. So we received about £500,000 of that. And then that project has been temporarily paused, but we've had confirmation that that's going to start off again. This is going into the Middle East. Additionally, we have a Far East country which has implemented a new law around visually recording evidence, and we're one of the preferred suppliers for that. So those 2 projects collectively make the $5 million up. The $10 million, it comes from a partner we have in the US. We're planning for a 2022 entry into the US market, and there's a lot of potential there because of the general unsatisfaction with the policing there. Our partner based in Washington is in communication with a number of US distributors who are willing and wish to sign up as our partners. And to do that, they're willing to put an agreed purchase per year, hence the $10 million, because they're actually signing up to contracts. So we're very confident. Everywhere we look, we're seeing opportunities is the bottom line. And when I look at our cash flow forecast, which look exceptionally good, I'm constantly trying to calm them down so that investors don't think that we're crazy. But in truth, I'm also keen not to let the tail wag the dog. The numbers are excellent and the opportunities are there. And is it that dominance of the US that has made you think in dollars for your presentation and slides and so on, bearing in mind you're a UK business? Well, we've always, if I'm completely honest, and I'm always a bit careful around being that, we've always found it difficult to get support from the UK, and we found it's considerably easier to find support in the Middle East, and there's a lot going on in India and the Far East, and so the global currency seems to be the dollar. Everyone understands it, and if we're jumping from one country to another to have those conversations, it's easier for us to keep everything into one currency, as we all know what we're talking about. Okay, thanks very much, Jerry. You're very welcome.
Hi, Jerry. Harveen speaking. Thanks for that. Thanks for your presentation. I think you had a slide that referred to your competitors.
Yes.
And there were, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them that you had up.
Yes.
What are the overwhelming features of what you're bringing to market? You know, if you had to name the top 2 or 3, what would they be versus your competitors?
That's, again, a very good question. So the thing that makes us stand out is that prior to the VET technology, I was involved with a project with the London Metropolitan Police Force around digitally recording evidence. So we learned a lot of lessons when we went through that project to understand what the customer actually wants. So when we built the products that we have now, we built them in order to specifically meet those requirements. And that makes us unique in that our products are, for example, highly portable. So none of our competitors' products are in any way transportable to the degree ours are, where ours you can take it on your shoulder, easily transport it on a plane and go and do an interview in the middle of the field if you have to. So it's very reliable, it's very dependable, portable. It's been built to be cost effective. We have a lot of margin in our products so that we can not only compete on quality, but we can compete on price.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Are there any further questions from the panelists on this occasion? Jerry, thank you very much indeed. I'll now ask Josh to run our poll.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. And same again as last time. You should see the poll on your screens now. So again, if you're an investor, would you be interested in investing in this business? And again, it's a simple yes, no, or maybe. And I'll give you about 30 seconds. Again, I can see some of the numbers going up there. Okay, we'll just wait for a couple more responses. Brilliant. Thanks, everyone. So we'll end that there and I'll hand back to you, John.
Thank you very much indeed, Josh. Interesting, lots of maybes there. So there may be some conversations coming out of this. And during the course of this webinar, we've had people join our Angels at Essex equity platform as registered investors. So there could be some more conversations following on from this. It goes without saying that all 3 presentations were extremely high quality. And we've got ourselves just a couple of minutes. So are there any further questions from the panelists or any pressing questions from the audience that we might like to work with? The Q&A is available for the audience. No further questions. It'd be nice just to share the polls results as we move on. Josh, would you like to share those, please?
Yeah, so thanks again, everyone, for the presentations today. So we'll start in the order of presentation. So we'll start with TT Education's results from the poll. And you should all be able to see those on your screens now. So we can see a good mix of people who are who would be interested, and a lot of maybes there. So potentially a lot of people who would like some additional information on that one. Okay, so I will move, if there's no comments from the panel or John, I'll move on to the next poll. And that was Limbotech. So you should be able to see those on your screen now. And so we can see a mixture there. Again, quite a few maybes, so potentially people who are looking for further information from the business. And finally, Avets. And they should be on your screen now. And as we can see again, quite a lot of maybes in there. So some wise investors watching us today who would like to find out some more about each of the businesses that are presented. Again, as John said, they are all on our Angels of Essex platform. So if you're interested in joining that, if you're not already on it, do email us at uez@essex.ac.uk, and we can give you access to the platform where you can find these businesses and many more as well. But for now, I'll pass back to you, John.
Thank you very much indeed, Josh. And for all our presenters today, that was David Matham, Dave Norton, Jerry Thornton, ably assisted by Andy Stewart. Thank you very much indeed. I wish to thank my panel, which was Hannah Smith from Anglia Capital Group, Jennifer Estherby from Barclays Eagle Labs, Harveen Gill from Eve Angel Investors, representing female investors, and Greg Tufnell from Prime Advantage Capital Partners. And of course, Liz Guyar-Brown from University of Essex, our project manager. Thank you once again, everybody. We've finished on time today, and I think we have got ourselves a very interesting set of businesses. And as Josh said, there are more on our platform. So if you are an investor and you are prepared to register with our FCA compliance, then please join us by emailing us at uez@essex.ac.uk.